So hi guys, I'm back again with a discussion on today's newspaper, which is today's 22nd of August, and we'll be seeing some of the important articles that you must need to know today about whatever is mentioned in the newspaper. Okay, now the very first page, the minute you open the newspaper from the Express, you will see Bihar 2003 Election Commission and Supreme Court going cross-checking each other about the special intensive revision program, SIR program, which Election Commission is currently doing in Bihar, and how it is intending to change everything, how things are being understood on this. Okay, now ongoing SIR special intensive revision, which the Election Commission is doing. Election Commission justified it, saying that not only that they've done something like this in 2002, 2003, but also strongly recommended the way it is being done. However, in Supreme Court and some of the other discussions have been that in 2000 to 2003, yes, something like special intensive revision was done, but at that time, approximately 9 months time was there, which is almost double the time that is there now. Now, all of a sudden in Bihar, it is expected that people will have to do this in 3 months. Special intensive revision, basically giving their validity and giving their proof of residence to the election commission. Also, the no proof of citizenship was actually sought back in 2002, which actually is being sought now. And also, EPIC electors photo identity card was the backbone of the entire process in 2002 2003, which is not nearly the case now. So you need to just check this and just as a preference go through the 2002 2003 electoral reforms program and what government tried to do at that time and see how the program went. The continuation of this article is visible in the second page. Okay, about the special intensive revision. Now, second article which is talking is about how um, yesterday Jaishankar sir was in Russia, and then he also talked about how India tends to buy oil from Russia because back in the days it seems US has told India to stabilize energy market even by Russian oil. I mean, Jaishankar sir even clearly said that America always knew that we were going to buy oil from Russia. Just like Jaishankar sir said, India buys oil from America, from Russia, from different countries. And the logic which India gave was pretty simple. We work on the basis of the price markets and the price fluctuations. Whichever is best in the interest of India, we buy it. We don't really get involved into any other things. That's what Jaishankar sir clearly identified. And the article also talks about how associations like SEO, BRICS, and G20 are becoming increasingly important the way Donald Trump has behaved and how world has started to deviate and move away from America's stand of bullying and America's restrictions. Same way, the Chinese foreign minister who came Wang Yi to India was also very. The Chinese envoy was very clear. Also, Zhu Feihong, the Chinese envoy in India, ambassador, he was of the idea that India's non-surrendering to U.S. demands is right, and that a bully should never be allowed to be a bully continuously, which is what the policy India is also currently following. More in news is okay in Delhi. This couple of news which is important for you, even at prelims also will be very important. At Nelson Mandela Marg, the Ministry of Textiles, Government of India has opened something called the Kunj, an Indian handicrafts expo where artisans from across the country will come together and show their rich heritage of handicrafts and handlooms. It will be a 3 month inaugural program in which will provide artisans with a world class platform to display the art, enduring visibility, ensuring that they have proper visibility, proper access. The platform will also offer the sale and display of over 100 handicrafts and handloom masterpieces by the national awardees, mainly Shilpi Gurus. So, national awardees of handloom are generally called Shilp Gurus, and the Shilp Gurus produce will also be given for sale. And then there is also discussion about how Julie Devi, an artisan from Begusarai, Bihar, showed a display of baskets, etc. They gave a quite slight view. Now, this might be useful for you in your interview to say how handlooms or handicrafts can be developed. At the same time, The factual information will be right useful for your prelims. And special incentive revision. This is all political news. Most of the political news we can directly avoid and escape. Now, this is a question which Asaduddin Owaisi asked: if government wants to deport Bangladeshis, why not Sheikh Hasina? Which, where I mean, Owaisi tried to see, tried to oppose a special intensive revision, which again the government is doing. Owaisi, in his argument, now obviously this is purely a political argument, he was absolutely wrong because Sheikh Hasina is not on the voter list here, whereas many of the illegal Bangladeshi migrants seems to be on illegal voting lists who are obviously altering the demographics of the country. So that's why the EC is ensuring that they want to do this, and that obviously she wants to remove the illegal Bangladeshis from India. Sheikh Hasina has come as a political refugee. Comparing these two is really dumb and completely not in line with somebody as prepared as Hasaduddin Owaisi being a seasoned lawyer, barrister at law. He should know what he's talking now. ISRO has prepared a 400-page document detailing the experience of Group Tech Captain Subhanshu Shukla on the Axiom 4 mission. Now, this learnings of Axiom 4 on which Subhanshu Shukla went definitely it seems will help us in our Gaganyaan program, which is the manned space program of ISRO. The two astronauts again, I mean, the two astronauts who went on Axiom 4 were Prashant Nair and Subhanshu Shukla. They've come back with a lot of experience, particularly with SpaceX, NASA, and Axiom, and everything from docking process, microgravity environment, getting used to spacewalks. Everything our guys have now learned from ISRO, it seems, and this definitely it seems all these learnings will help us in our Gaganyaan program. For you, what you should know is Gaganyaan is our manned space program which we are expecting to launch very shortly, and it's obviously going to be one of our most important projects within ISRO after Mangalyaan and Chandrayaan projects which we have just done. Okay, now about the 30-day bill, there was an article, and if you remember, most it seems like if you see in the last few years, most opposition ministers and most people have spent their time in jails for more than 30 days for sure under PMLA, Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So that's why the opposition is worried about that bill, which suggests that if a minister or a chief minister or a head of the state, head of the government, is been arrested for 30 days or more, the 31st day, he'll be deemed resigned or he will have to be terminated. The opposition has called this bill as against the federal principles and the very spirit of constitution. Now, if you observe, since 2014, the opposition has often accused the government of targeting its leaders through central agencies, particularly ED and CBI. Notably, 10 have been, I mean, almost 10 opposition chief ministers so far have been in jail for the contentious PMLA. Some of the classic examples that you will see are, say, for example, Jayalalitha was arrested in 2014 as Tamil Nadu CM. For and recent case, very popular guy is Sendil Balaji. He's been investigated by Tamil Nadu Police and Enforcement Directorate for PMLA, pertaining to allegations that he took bribes when he was a minister in AIADMK. And Aam Aadmi Party is Manish Sisodia and Kejriwal, mainly Delhi exercise, the liquor policy, Delhi liquor policy case. So different cases. If we observe, if really that 30 days limit is implemented, then everybody will start getting into jails, or everybody will start losing powers. So that's what the act was basically talking about, and the opposition's main contention is. Um, there's been a very important article which is very important for you: solution to governor withholding bills, political, not judicial. Now, it actually talked about something called the night errant. Basically, the Solicitor General, Solicitor Abji, and a few others have come down very hard on the Supreme Court. Okay, particularly Justice B.R. Gavai has been questioning if Government must have unlimited powers to withhold a bill for a time immemorial, and then what is the safeguard for a duly elected legislature? Now, in this, for this, the question for this question, SG Solicitor General, Solicitor General Tushar Mehta sir gave a beautiful analogy. He said, "Sir, if the question is about the bill and passing of the bill, now that's a legislative question which must be handled through the Constitution, not judiciary, because the problem is a political problem, not a judicial problem." And as Mehta sir said to the judge, the concern is a concern, but the answer in this form, which is in judiciary, is not the solution. The solution, according to Tushar Mehta, is amendment to the constitution. Until that happens, the political process. Every state does not take such a confrontational attitude. I mean, it's not as if every state is against their governors and governors are against their every state. So, making it a general perspective and making it that all governors are bad, all governors are not passing the bills, and it's creating more problems among the people is a wrong way. And again, um, many people have some the senior lawyers, even Tushar sir, kind of gave an idea that the judiciary's penchant to intervene in the process, and it mainly presupposes the belief that judiciary seems to believe that it is the solution to all problems. In fact, Tushar Mehta gave a quote of American judge Benjamin Cardozo, who said, "The judge, even when he is free, is not a knight errant, roaming at will in pursuit of his own ideals of beauty and goodness." I mean, giving an example, his Mehta sir said, "Knight errant was an allusion to speaking about a fictional character roaming around trying to correct everything he felt was wrong. Everything he felt was wrong about the society." The judges of Supreme Court and Supreme Court itself, it seems, is starting to become like a knight errant, trying to resolve every problem which judiciary thinks is a problem. The governor obviously is not answerable to anyone, but at the same time, there is a due political process and constitutional provisions for this. And ideally, the problem has been identified. The solution for the problem definitely must come from the legislature only. That's what the eventual gist of this article was. Second is NTC, National Tiger Conservation Authority, has limited tiger corridor to minimal requirement, multiple projects to get benefit. I mean, this is obviously environmentalists have started to argue about how NTCA has diluted its provisions. Under the Wildlife Protection Act, development projects requiring land in and around tiger reserves require statutory clearance from the Standing Committee of National Board for Wildlife. And it seems NTCA has now simplified the process. Tiger Conservation Authority has simplified the process and made it easy for projects to start. Obviously, there's been oppositions to this, and people are telling that by diluting the entire logic, Project Tiger has completely, or chances are Project Tiger will eventually fail. But yeah, that's an extreme way of understanding it. Somewhere, somehow, this solution had to be done because multiple projects have been withheld as a result of the Tiger Corridor's stringent restrictions. Now, sustainable development is more important than no development. Always remember that. Now, another article which is being very important is UP to restore Piprava relics at original site. Now, Piprava is one of the oldest stupas of Buddhism, where UP government has finally agreed that they're going to repatriate after 127 years everything which has been taken away from Piprava. Piprava is located in Siddharthnagar district, UP, along with international border with Nepal, and it is just south of Lumbini. And Lumbini is believed to be the place where Siddhartha was born. Piprava relics include ash, bone fragments reportedly belonging to Buddha, gold ornaments, and gemstones. All of this was excavated by William Clarkson Pay and an English estate manager in 1898, and British Crown under the Indian Treasure Trove Act 1878 took most of these. Fifth of these total find was kept by Pep, and four-fifths was taken away by the Crown. What has happened is recently there's been a discussion that Sotheby is going to Sotheby, the auction house, is going to auction all this Triprava relics. The UP government plans to transform or bring these relics back, build a kind of a theme park or a Buddhist concept park, uh, obviously with the help of ASI, and eventually develop a tourism project. Proposed project aims to create a heritage and eco-sensitive visitor experience, which would complete both the archaeological and spiritual legacy of Kapilavastu state. Site will also have a state-of-the-art visitor infrastructure, a cafeteria, dormitory, and public amenities. Now, the idea is to bring all those relics back. We will bid it at Hong Kong and Sotheby, and then finally, at this stage, what happened is we are getting them back. All the relics are going to come back to us because of Government of India's official intervention, and we want to just UP government wants to spend a little more money and make a visitor center for this. There's been an article in editorial about India's vocational training system, mainly requiring a boost to employability. The vocational training is essentially those professions in demand which needs a skill set and which needs appropriate support and training. And vocational training, particularly ITI, VET, have never ITIs particularly have never been given adequate support by Government of India. Although the concept was introduced, it has never been developed. Countries like Germany, countries like Canada have given extreme importance to vocational training. It's time that it seems India also must step up its vocational training system. There's been an article about international relations about Donald Trump and I'm sorry, India and China, where Kuldeep Singh said is of the idea that India having rivalry with America or India having rivalry with China does not really mean we're going to have a war or a conflict with them. In international relations, having a rivalry does not essentially mean war or a dispute. Just a nice article, guys, and this is something that you need to know. And the reset with Beijing isn't a possibility. Now, see, obviously, Ashok's article has little unviable discussions about how China is still a threat to India, China is a strategic challenge to India, and all this, which obviously is a little extreme way of understanding this, a little too extreme. Okay, now in the explained part, talked about how Udit Mishra talked about how tariffs in the U.S. economy have behaved over the last 4 months now, and also how U.S. putting tariffs on countries like India and Brazil and China has eventually impacted their own monetary policy, their own economic policy, their own inflation. Everything from US retail inflation to US dollar value, everything has gone down, impacted very badly. And also NASDAQ, US stock exchange, Dow Jones, they've all been impacted negatively. Overall, if you observe, the a strong dollar was the main idea of why Donald Trump wanted to put tariffs and maintain the US dominance. The tariffs have actually led to a complete fall in the dollar's strength, both in monetary terms and also in psychological terms. A weak dollar is essentially means a weak economy and weak US. A weak US is never respected by anybody. Okay, last article for the day that you can study or give me focus is environmentalist Haryana giving a definition of what is a forest. Again, just like NTCA, Haryana government has given a small definition of forest in its notification. And Haryana government, the Forest and Wildlife Department said a patch of land shall be deemed as a forest as per dictionary meaning if it fulfills the following conditions. It has a minimum area of 5 hectares. If it is in isolation, and a minimum area of 2 hectares if it is in contiguity with government notified forests. It has a canopy density of 40% or more. And the notified forest specifies that all linear, compact agroforest plantation orchards situated outside government notified forests shall not be treated as forests under the above definition. So basically, what they've done is they've reduced the definition of it, they've diluted the entire concept of forest. That way, less number of restrictions will be on these lands, and the decision to keep a high threshold was always the idea to develop forests, but now the threshold has been reduced. Obviously, environmentalists have complained about dilution of these things. Okay, now that's a quick overview about today's paper, guys, and do definitely go through this newspaper today, and you will be able to finish it off quite quickly. Meanwhile, you can always like, subscribe, and share this video. And I will be back tomorrow, 23rd of August, with another video on newspaper. Thank you, guys. You have a nice day. Bye bye.